Hi, and welcome to CryptoBiography. I'm your host, Brandon Starr. This is episode 441 of CryptoBiography, and it's part 6 of Vampire Republic. And here we go. He got colder and colder as the evening, then the night, wore on. Fortunately, the flashlight he had brought was very efficient. It was still shining brightly from the spot he had placed it. At midnight, he increased his caution, but nothing happened. It wasn't until almost 3 a.m. that the vampire came. He was almost asleep when he heard something rustling overhead. He barely looked up when the vampire landed heavily on him. He tried to pull his hands out so he could stab with one of the stakes, but only one arm, his left, was free. He instinctively hunched to protect his neck and tried to determine, with his head, shoulder, and partly pinned right arm, where exactly the vampire was. He found the body and swung with his left arm. He connected, and the vampire hissed its hatred. He felt strong hands pulling at his head, trying to expose his throat. He knew his scarf, while still in place, would not be much of a shield. A clawed hand scraped near his head, and his scarf was pulled away, leaving his throat bare. Another clawed hand was pulling his forehead, so he couldn't protect his throat. His hands were both useless. One was mostly pinned between his own body and the tree, and the other, which had the sharpened stake, was now empty, beating uselessly on the vampire's back. As the vampire started to bite, there was a yell. Someone was coming forward and drove something into the vampire. He yelled in pain, and the pressure on Duncan's neck was suddenly lifted. There was a red mist in the air. Vanessa was above him, holding a stake. "Vanessa, thanks," he said, a little sheepishly. "You were right. I couldn't handle it myself." He had partly collapsed against the tree, and she helped him up. "Let's get those cameras," she said. "You okay?" "Yeah." They gathered the phones he had borrowed, plus another phone that Vanessa had placed. Duncan knew there was a story there, but it would wait. They went back to her place. One of the phones had failed, an old battery dying before the attack happened. But 2 showed the attack from different angles. He had also been recording audio on his personal phone, and that too had worked. Vanessa had not stayed home, as she had said. As soon as they had hung up, she had formulated a quick plan. She borrowed a friend's phone and called it. She put that phone on speakerphone, knowing that the phone would pull better from the sound in the area. She also turned its volume down, so that if she made a sound, the phone she was calling wouldn't give away the ploy. While Duncan was busy finding places for the various phones and hiding them, Vanessa came up, plunked the phone down, barely covered it with a couple of leaves, and went back to her house. She knew that phones don't hang up on their own, and so she would be able to listen all night if needed, as it nearly was. Meanwhile, she sharpened a wooden stake made from an old chair no one used and had been sitting in the backyard. She'd listened to the phone that whole time, occasionally hearing when Duncan had coughed or made some other small noise. But when the attack came, she knew immediately what was up. There was no guarantee there would only be one vampire, but she'd already thought that out and decided that she wouldn't let the danger stop her from helping her friend. As soon as the attack started, she grabbed her stake and phone and sprinted out the door and towards the stand of trees not too far away. Still, she had barely gotten there in time. He thanked her again. From the safety of her house, they looked at the videos. They were clear, given the directional light of the one major light source, and the sounds were audible as well. Duncan found himself shaking his head. "We have actual proof of vampires," he said. "I'm sure some people will try to deny it, but we actually have it." Vanessa nodded. "We can put out edited versions tomorrow. I think we should also make the entire videos available so people can see the entire thing, and that we didn't hide anything." And that's the end of the story for this week. If you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episodes, cryptobiography@gmail.com, or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter, or actually Facebook or Blue Sky. I don't use Twitter anymore. And thanks for listening. Words and music copyright 2025, Brandon Starr, all rights reserved. Characters and events are fictional, fictionalized, or satirical.